message from God because I had been given a message to pass on to him. I didn't know the meaning of it, so all I had to do was tell him. He stopped me and he said, Sarah, do you know God will visit you? I laughed. I was just,
that's hard to believe.
That's not me. It is hard to believe, it is. But I was so shy, like I could never approach people. Even when people came to me, I would be like, hey, and then run off. Fine, and I was still scared because I thought, am I dying? Is it some sort of illusion that's going on? I didn't understand.
Saying the Lord's time is the best time.
It is the best time.
It's
definitely
true.
The best time. Yeah.
Welcome back to Testimony Time with Genesis. We're still listening to Sarah's testimony. Sarah, would you like to continue where you left off?
Of course. The reason why the Lord said I still need to form you is because before the visitation, I was extremely shy. I would not say hi to people. I would just stay in my own corner. Even if I saw people were friendly, I was just,
that's hard to believe.
That's not me. It is hard to believe. It is. But I was so shy. Like, I could never approach people. Even when people came to me, I would be like, hey, hi, and then run off. Like, I had to be dragged down to meet visitors and stuff like that. So the Lord needed to form me because before the testimony to actually be spoken, I have to stand in front of people. It's not a choice where it's what has to be done.
It reminds me of when Moses was leading all the Israelites.
Yes.
To the promised land. He said he was a bit shy. Yeah.
And from the 14th, the formation started from the 14th of August. It was where the angels would massage my body. That they will massage me thoroughly with oil thoroughly, so that at the end I wouldn't be shy. And on the 17th of August, in the early hours, whilst asleep, I saw the Lord, and he said, daughter, I see that you did your hair. And I laughed and I said, and when the Lord said this, and I replied, Lord, why have you not visited me for the last day? And he replied, yes, daughter, the formation needs to be done whilst you're asleep. Otherwise, if you do it in the visits, you will get too tired. I then felt like my spirit had been lifted and another one put back within me. It was strange because I could feel my spirit being lifted and something else being put back into me. And I felt my body was thoroughly being massaged. And I felt as if, during this massage, I felt as if something hot was poured into my heart. The reason why I say that is because I felt something hot in my heart to a point where it affected my physical body. Because I remember I screamed in pain. I was in my room. I was in so much pain when that happened. But then it's something that had to be done.
So you felt that pain not just in the spiritual world, but in
physical
the physical
as
world.
well. And I knew it was the Lord doing it because the formation had to be done. I had to stop being shy. I had to be able to approach people. Otherwise, if I was still shy and doing the work, then other people may find me rude. Why is she not saying this? She thinks she's
we wouldn't be here today.
Exactly. So obviously after the pain soothed away and I fell asleep again, and when I woke up, and that was the end of the visit. For the next couple of days, it wasn't a visit, it was just a formation where I would thoroughly be massaged over and over again by the angels each day. And on the 21st of August, the Lord visited me early in the morning. And when I saw the Lord, I bowed down to his feet. And he said that he needed to speak to me. So he took me to heaven and led me to the beach where we sat down. He then said to me, daughter, the visit to heaven has now come to an end. And so has the formation. But there is one last formation that needs to be done. But this one will be very painful, even when I am done. But do not worry, I will visit you every once in a while. After saying this, the Lord then took me to it was like a room. And there was like a bed type of thing. And there were angels there. And when I lay there, and the angels were still there, but when the Lord approached me, the angels left. They all moved back. And the Lord started massaging my body thoroughly. I don't think I have ever in my entire life felt so much pain. ever. Like, to a point where even after the visitation, it took me a couple of days for my body to fully heal, for me to be like, okay, I feel so much better, I don't feel any pain. It took me a while for that. It was so painful. Like, the massage, it hurt me so much, where I you know when someone is critically ill, that's how I felt. Like, I was in so much pain. But then after the visitation, I realized that I wasn't shy anymore. You know when I felt something different inside me. I felt something new.
Like a rebirth, born again. Yeah.
And it was amazing because I felt happy. I felt amazing after the visitation. And after the massage, the Lord then said to me, I would never be afraid of anything anymore or be shy. He kept repeating this whilst massaging my body. And once done, the Lord then took me back home and I rested. And that was the whole visitation.
That is an amazing story, Sarah. Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
I do have a few questions for you.
Yeah, of course.
If you don't mind, answering them.
Yeah.
So, you talked about this, this outer body experience, your spirit leaving your physical body. So how does it feel to be separated from your body spiritually?
It felt amazing. It feels different. Like, I have no words to explain it. It feels different. And in a way, it felt better because I was in the presence of God. So it felt that much better, that I'd rather stay there than be back in my physical body.
Because me personally, if I was having experiences where I could see my spirit leaving my body, and then my spiritual self can look back and see my physical, I'd be scared. I'd be like, terrified. I know you're going with God, but did you not have any fear at all?
At first I did, definitely. I was scared because I panicked because I didn't know, was I dying, was I not, what exactly was happening. I was confused. But then once I got used to not really used to, but once I realized that the visits were happening more constantly, then I realized, okay, I know it's God.
And so the very first time it happened, you knew it was God?
I did, in a way. I did, but I didn't. The only reason I actually knew it was the Lord, because on the first visit I realized one gate said the kingdom of hell and the other one said the kingdom of heaven.
Okay.
And there was the book behind me.
Okay.
And I knew there was someone sitting on the throne that I couldn't lift my head up to see.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And so why do you think God has chosen you to receive this experience? And what could be the purpose of it all?
I don't know. God chooses who he wants to choose for his message. Only he knows the reason why he chose me, because I don't. But the purpose of this message is not only to teach me also what I need to be aware of and what I need to be careful of, but to also teach the world, to show the world the reality of things, that you really do need to pay attention at this time.
Okay. So there was nothing extraordinary that was happening in your life prior to these experiences?
Nope.
No? Okay. And do you think because you went to heaven, that when your mission and purpose on earth is finished, you will return there forever?
That depends. I say depend because I am in a sinful world. And obviously I have to watch my way, I have to watch how I walk, I have to watch what I do, I have to abide by the rules of the Lord, so that on the last day I want to go. So hopefully, I pray that I will. I pray that is one of my goals. I want to enter heaven. But because I'm still in this world, it's like everyone else. If you do right, you go to heaven. If you do wrong, you go to hell.
So this hasn't given you any privileges over anyone else?
No.
God didn't tell you that
no.
you're definitely coming into his kingdom?
No.
No?
He will tell his children, you have got, your palace, and I will see you on the last day.
Yeah.
But the fact that he knows you're coming back into this world, so he knows, he's saying that because he expects you to abide by his rules, so that you can enter.
You still have to do right, I suppose. And what's the difference between heaven and earth, according to you, and based upon your experiences?
There's a lot of differences. One of the differences, heaven is a peaceful place. Heaven is a place where you will never, ever stress, worry, think cry, feel pain. It's just joy upon joy. You just rejoice with the Lord. You're happy all the time. There's no sins. There's no dirt. It's pure. It's purity.
It's paradise.
Heaven. That's when you actually live the word pure. That's when you actually are able to see, okay, this is the actual meaning of pure. Whereas on earth, there are sins. There are dirt. There are garbage. There are stress, worries, all sorts of things in your head that stress your life out. In heaven, it's completely different.
What does it look like?
Heaven, they say the world is a photocopy of heaven. And that is true.
Okay.
To a certain extent, because everything that's on earth you would find in heaven, just a purer way of it.
Okay.
In a way that it is there, but you don't fall into sin in any way.
Right.
Say, for example, I take an example of the beach. Here in this world, you'll go to the beach, you can fall into so many sins, whether it's through thought or whatever. But in heaven, there's a beach where there's no sins.
Okay.
Do whatever you like, there's no sins.
And no danger.
No danger
No
at
sharks
all.
in the
No
water.
sharks in the water.
Okay.
Nothing. No death.
Okay.
So it is a photocopy of heaven in a way. But it's just pure.
Very interesting. And how many times did you go to heaven? And can you go anytime you decide? Anytime you want?
I went to heaven for around about a month, back and forth every day.
How many times?
In a day, I would only go once.
Okay.
And that was during the time of the visit.
So maybe how many days in a month? 30 days?
Roundabout, because the visit started from the 26th to the 22nd.
Okay.
So within that time, there were days, like let's say 4 or 5 days where the Lord hadn't visited me.
Okay.
But it wasn't straight on. It was like bit by bit.
Random.
And he would tell me the reasons why. And I can't go to heaven whenever I decide.
Okay, so it's up to the Lord.
It's up to the Lord. When he chooses to visit me, that's when he allows me to go.
Okay. So it's basically over a month's period.
Yeah.
At least once a day, roughly. Okay. And how was your faith before that experience and after it?
My faith was everywhere. Literally, my faith was everywhere before the visit. You know when you just hear stuff and you're like, oh, yeah, I heard that. Okay, yeah, I heard that. Okay, yeah, I heard that. But then to be able to actually live it and see, especially my faith of heaven itself, that heaven actually existed, that definitely changed after. Because before I'd be like, yeah, but we always hear it. Yeah, but we always hear it. You know, people have said it so many times. Hell exists, heaven exists. Yeah, sure, whatever. But then after the visitation, I was like, my faith, I felt strengthened and fortified that I actually have a goal where I know when I get there, there's everything I want in life. I may not get it whilst I'm alive here, but I know in heaven everything is there. So I do feel fortified and strengthened by that.
So, you know, your faith before this experience, were you a strong Christian? Did you
No,
trust in the Lord? Did you believe, you know, I take it you did believe in God.
I did believe in God,
how much,
yeah.
you know?
I believed in God, but I wasn't a very strong Christian. You know, I was just a Christian where we go to church, we come back home. Yeah, I believe in God. Yeah, they preach this, they preach that. It says in the Bible, great, that's it. That's it for me. Okay. I wouldn't really go into any depth.
Okay.
But then after the visitation, I have become a really strong Christian where I pay attention to everything that the Lord says.
I was going to ask you, I mean, how is your faith now?
It's much, much stronger to a point where I pay attention. When it comes to God things, I pay attention thoroughly. And I try to make sure, even when I do receive messages, I try to make sure that I understand it to probably the deepest I could possibly understand it.
And do you think it will ever be possible for you to doubt God's existence? Ever?
I don't think ever, because there was a time where in the visitation, because some parts I'm not allowed to say, and there are parts where during the visitation I doubted God. I remember I doubted God to a point where I started asking myself that, wait, maybe I'm just dreaming though. Maybe maybe it's just my thoughts, creating scenes and I'm just thinking it's real. And I got shouted at for that. I got the Lord proper shouted at me and said, you don't doubt your God. And he said it in such a way that I was shaking. I was scared out of myself. And that from then I was like, no, I'll never doubt God. Mm-mm.
Okay. Now, the next question, it probably is on a lot of our viewers' minds. Okay, so before this experience, I take it you considered yourself to be a normal girl. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you ever thought of yourself being abnormal or different from anybody else in any way?
No.
Okay. And in the same context, now this experience is done, do you ever feel like you're crazy when you're talking about your experience? Do you ever think, I mean, I can't believe I'm telling people this. It sounds crazy.
Not really. Obviously, at first it did sound crazy, because at first I had the worry where, I used to pray to God. I was like, God, I don't know who's going to believe me, who's not. What if people don't believe? What am I supposed to send? The Lord said, that's not my job. He told me that's not your job to worry about. Let me take care. As long as I know that you've done my job, what I sent you to do, that's more than enough for you. So, I don't see it crazy anymore. So I just see it as I've been sent to do something and I'm doing it.
Okay. So you didn't second guess yourself and think, oh, I don't want to be labelled as, someone who's insane.
No, not really.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And do you miss heaven when you're not there? Does the earth ever make you feel fed up?
Yes.
With all of its problems and hardships?
Definitely. A lot of times. A lot of times.
Yeah, okay. And how is your life now, and how was it before the experience? So if talk about your life, maybe talk about your life before the experience, and then talk about your life now.
Well, before the experience, it was just a normal girl. Like, just
What
get around life.
What was normal? What was normal?
Just get around life. Obviously, I live with a pastor, so I was being preached a lot too, and stuff like that. But I was just like, I guess you could, in other ways, you could say as careless, like every young teenager would be. Yeah. But then after the visitation, it's kind of, I've matured. Like, people say, obviously, when people go through puberty, you mature. Yeah. But mine is it was just different. Like, I see things in a completely different perspective than I used to. So it does teach me a lot. Life now it's great. I am still a normal guy. I don't like when people say, oh, you're that famous. I hate the people when they label me, you're famous. I do not like that. I'm still the normal 18-year-old, obviously. I still go to school, still live with my parents, and still do the normal things.
So spiritually, you've changed. I take you spiritually, you're mature, you're a bit more further on your walk in salvation. But how about your life in general, in the worldly sense? I mean, somebody that's lived on the earth and then been lucky enough to go to heaven and come back again. How has your life ultimately changed? I mean, have you, do you think you've progressed, or do you think you're more blessed in any sort of way?
Yes, definitely. It has changed, because I feel like, even in my normal life, like I kind of leave everything up to God. Like I say, God, you take control. You know what you want to happen. You know what's going to happen. So, it's nothing where I take things into my own responsibility now. I just give it to God, be like, you do it.
Okay. And is heaven scary? I know it sounds a bit strange, but is there anything that took your breath away, or anything that shocked you or surprised you in heaven? Heaven
is not scary at all. It's a place where you would want to be. It's somewhere where everyone wants to be, in that peaceful place. It's amazing. It's nothing scary though.
Okay, and I'm thinking still about heaven. What is the sense of time like in heaven? Do things just fly by, or does 1 minute seem like 1 year? What is the sense of time?
Oh, that's a hard one, because I never really paid attention to time when I was in heaven. Okay. It does seem like when the visits happen, it does seem really short. But then when you look at the time that you went and the time that you've come back, it's like, oh, so it's been almost 2 hours. Right. But it felt really short.
Right, okay. And probably because you enjoyed it so much. And how long would you say you spent there in total?
Like in minutes or time?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I'm not too sure.
No problem. We'll touch on that a bit later. We'll continue with these questions when we come back. Thank you very much.